They're legendary broadcasters, both trailblazers in their field. Mo Rocca catches up with Maury Povich and Connie Chung.
I used to be a 3.8, and now I'm a 2.6.
These days, 83-year-old Maury Povich has lots of free time to work on his golf game.
It's been my therapy for the last, 50 years or so.
In March, Povich announced that he's retiring from his day job and that original episodes of his longtime talk show,
And I have a business card.
famous and infamous for its out-of-control teens.
You are a father at 16. You're gonna have to grow up fast, son.
Black olives or green olives?
Its unusual phobias,
Bring out the olives!
and most of all, paternity tests
You are the father!
would stop airing in September.
You are not the father!
But long before the public knew him simply as Povich had already made his name as a public affairs host, a reporter, and an itinerant local anchorman who in his off time studied the tapes of TV News' then most trusted voice.
Good evening. The Carter administration said today that $50 a person tax rebate checks could be in mailboxes within 3 months.
At that point in my life, the holy grail was to anchor a network news. I watched Cronkite because, of course, he was the man.
But life on the road took its toll.
I made the terrible mistake of not being with my family, worried about my career, and that ended in a divorce. The biggest mistake I made was putting my job before my family. That was unconscionable.
You think it was unconscionable? But that was, the business. You didn't set up the business.
That's the addiction of the business.
Hollywood's most horrible crime.
So when media mogul Rupert Murdoch offered him the relative stability of host of a new kind of news show,
Stop it, you!
Povich said yes.
Behind the scenes with the team that uncovered the exclusive Robert Chambers home video.
A Current Affair
Yes.
was really influential.
Would you believe it? Charles Manson is up for parole again.
I fervently believe that the first 5 or 6 or 7 years of A Current Affair changed the whole landscape of covering news on television.
How so?
Because A Current Affair became popular because of the stories that network newsrooms were putting in the trash can. Jim and Tammy Faye Baker and all the other so-called tabloid stories. And all of a sudden, we were getting the ratings that network newscasts were getting. The CBS News, I guarantee you, does more crime than they used to.
Hello, everyone. I'm Maury Povich. Welcome to A Current Affair.
The hosting job at A Current Affair also meant he would live in the same city as his second wife.
Which is a perfect cue for Connie to come in.
She's not here.
Where's Connie?
This is Connie Chung time. This is Connie Chung Standard Time.
Maury Povich and Connie Chung had met in 1969 when he was a big shot at WTTG in Washington, D.C., and she was a copy girl.
Yeah, but Maury never paid attention to me. I would rip wire copy off the wire machines and I'd hand it to him.
And were you pining for him?
Secretly? Yeah. No.
7 years later, in 1977, they met again on the West Coast. This time, Chung had top billing.
Co-anchor, Second Banana, when she was a big star in Los Angeles.
Among the hardest hit were the Beatles themselves. George Harrison says he is still in shock.
That's when their current affair began.
We dated for over 7 years, never lived together.
Yeah, it was perfect.
But then you got married in 1984.
We got married in 84, correct.
But we were living in 2 different cities.
Right.
And that made it the perfect marriage.
Why don't you tell him it took you 10 years to put me on the deed?
This is not about me.
It's going to be about the both of you. And Maury, yeah.
No.
What do you mean?
See, I've been Mr. Chung for almost 40 years, all right? It's just, if you take a look at it in terms of my career, you could absolutely track that all of my success, my national success, came after I married this woman.
Why would you say that?
Because she settled me and she encouraged me, and she was a believer in what I had to offer.
As for Connie's story, after she went national at NBC, she moved over to CBS, and in 1993 became co-anchor of the CBS Evening News, a first for Asian Americans, and at CBS for women.
Good evening and welcome, Connie.
Thank you, Dan.
The pairing didn't last.
But at the same time, this was a very fortuitous moment, because in 1995, when she was taken off the CBS Evening News, the next day we find out that we're going to adopt this little boy.
So it was serendipity.
Right.
You know, it was really meant to be.
When is Connie going to own her status as a trailblazer?
Well, you know, one of the biggest problems I have with this young lady is that she doesn't recognize what she's done. And she's just beginning to, because she gets now a lot of inquiries from young Asian journalists. And in fact, there's this whole crowd of Asian American women named Connie because of her.
Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. And then some of them are named actually Connie Chung, and then something, last name.
How does that make you feel?
I'm flabbergasted, honestly.
Today, the couple splits their time between New York, Florida, and Montana, where they keep watch over the Flathead Beacon, the award-winning local newspaper Povich created in 2007.
When you look at each other now, what do you see?
I see a gorgeous man.
No.
Yeah, I do.
What you usually will see is, you know, there's a little lint here, there's a little lint.
Yeah. I'm like a monkey.
Sort of, yeah.
Monkeys do that.
So I see the most beautiful woman I could ever imagine.
Oh, Maury.
And
I've become a prune. I'm shrinking, and I'm up to your navel, and it's just, it's so. I'm so sorry you have to look at this. Intimato.
Never let a club get between us.
Maury may be done with his program, but Maury Povich and Connie Chung?
No tongues? No tongues.
Their show goes on.
No tongues.